Okay, today what I got done was the bridge piece is now permanently attached. Inner sidewall on the straightaway we're looking at is all attached. I had to trim the right hand side of that corner before I could put the wall on. And I also had to trim this end of the corner where you see the birch plywood clamped. And the bridge piece was already cut to shape and height. So I just glued and screwed that on. There's a little more gap than I'd like here, but that can be fixed up. Nothing a little masking tape and some filler won't fix. But it really isn't all that bad when it comes right down to it. After all, this is my track. Doesn't have to be perfect. And since I'm fighting with bad wood, or not bad wood, but awkward wood. So tomorrow what I'm going to do is make the birch go around from this joint here over to the sidewall. And then the piece of poplar that I'm just getting a sample piece to try. And it can go in here. And then I'll make the sidewall for the overbridge on this side, and then all the walls will be on. There's still lots to do. I could be doing it today. If you look at the sidewalls here and there, again, this one you won't see any screws at all, except at the end of the pieces. So extra screws need to be put in there. It's plenty strong enough without them, but since this track is going to hopefully be moved once in a while to take it to people's houses and play around, maybe do some rental work, I don't know. Maybe it'll never move, but because it's going to move, the plan is for it to move. I'll add 4 or 5 screws in this area just so if it gets dropped, it's not going to tend to crack the sidewall loose from the ends. Because the little L brackets that hold the sidewalls on, they're strong enough, but without a locking screw into them, here I'll show you over here. You can see this is one that I've been using to hold up. I clamp this to the sidewalls. Once they're all cut and ready to go, I'll put a clamp about 1 foot in from each end, an L bracket, sorry, about 1 foot in from each end, clamp it at each end, and then I take it off, put the glue on, and put it back on. Both ends are held up by the little L brackets. Makes it real easy for me to screw or staple the sidewall on. I did it that way for the bridge. I used a couple of L brackets along that straightaway. Also, when I was holding it in place before I put the screws in. But at any rate, as you can see where the joint is. Well, that's just a glued joint. I just glue it together in long strips and then cut them into small pieces. And you can see the screw in this one is just to make it a lot stronger for clamping it to sidewall pieces. But if you don't get a screw in through the side, if you don't get a screw in through the sidewall and right carrying on into that joint, even though it's fairly strong with all the glue that's on it, there's glue on the face, glue all along the top, but without a long enough screw to go right through the sidewall and then into that part, into this part of the L bracket, then a good jolt could knock the sidewall loose. The sidewall is not going to fall off, but you might end up with a little crack in between the sidewall and the track piece. If this was a little bit more flexible, I have built tracks that basically had almost no screws in them, and I had no problems with them. But that's with wood that's easy to make it conform to the shape, not with this type of wood. This type of wood, you're fighting with it all the time. So I like to put a few more screws in just as a precaution. All right, that's it for today. Thanks for watching.